was always very non-conforming in terms of gender, but also just in terms of personality. And when I was 11, I was diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum. And I was also diagnosed with a hormonal disorder, polycystic ovarian syndrome. In combination, both of those things led to ostracization from peers, social isolation, depression, just overall a lack of meaning. Started experiencing emotional, verbal, and psychological abuse from a parent. That caused trauma. When I started learning about gender identity, it was pretty much the perfect vulnerability combination. On Tumblr, they were talking about the different gender identities, the different signs that you might be trans, about gender dysphoria. I really latched onto that. It made sense to me. I started identifying as genderqueer at first, which is a form of non-binary identity, because I had never fit into feminine roles or stereotypes, nor masculine roles or stereotypes. And so I felt like, okay, I'm this androgynous person. Around, mid high school, I started having some relational issues because I had severe attachment wounding from parental abuse. I was attracted to unavailable people. I had codependency patterns, but they sort of led me on and used me and toyed with me kind of as a stepping stone to realizing that they were homosexual. I was meant to be a gay man instead of a straight woman. Starting around 18 is when I came out as a transgender gay man and took steps to socially transition, changing my pronouns to they, them, contemplating if I should pursue the medical procedures, which I was told were supposed to be the best treatment for gender dysphoria.
We're then able to help them refocus on strengthening and building that relationship with the child or family member.
And when I was 19, I went to a LGBT clinic and was given a high dose of testosterone, 200 milligrams per week to inject. And I was also diagnosed with gender dysphoria by my psychiatrist. I had a radical double mastectomy, and unfortunately, the testosterone made things much worse for my mental health and my social health. I had a mental breakdown on the testosterone, and the double mastectomy also did not relieve any pain or discomfort that I had with myself.
You see as a suicide rate that's associated with 19 times higher than the general population.
And so a couple more years went by and just more traumas continued to happen. And as I was trying to cope with what I, at 22, realized was actually PTSD. I was formally diagnosed with PTSD, and I started to awaken and realize that all of the symptoms of gender dysphoria, the relationship issues, the self-esteem was all related to having complex trauma from childhood abuse. And so I started realizing at that time, which was about 2018, 2019, that I had made a mistake. When I was detransitioning, I really didn't have much of a support system at all. I really didn't have any support. Not healthy to detach from your body, because your body is you. Every single thing you've ever done has been inside your body, because of your body. It's posited as this individual choice, this bodily autonomy, this personal liberation of self, when it's really a marketing scheme for vulnerable populations from the pharmaceutical industry, government, and, diversity, equity, and inclusion. There's so many threads that tie together that makes it a systemic, institutional push for people to become disembodied, to, resort to technology and pharma. Children are not developmentally mature enough to consent to these procedures, and they're also not developmentally to understand the implications of even the words that they're using. They're just exploring the world. They need to go through a period of exploration, of fluidity, of identity, and trying on different things and having a normal puberty and growth and development without interference from the medical industry.